Looking at the heating display and console here, we've got our heated rear screen button there, our heated front screen button on there. Now we've got temperature control, which you'll see in each of the little pods there. Now we've got a sync button, so it means we can both have exactly the same temperature, or if we turn that off, we will have different temperatures, and it will come up on here to show you what you've got set up. That will also be the same with if you put the fan on. So the fan is fan speed up by nudging that button up, fan speed down by tapping it down, recycled air here, direction of airflow is done by that button there, and again all of that will be relayed up onto your main screen. Your air conditioning on or off, and then off completely, and then your hazard lights in the center. Down here we've got our push button for on and off, our heated and ventilated seats. So if you press the right hand side, 3 lights come on, that's 3 different heat settings, and if you press the left hand side, that's 3 different cool settings for the summer. And you've got that for both front seats. And we've got our USB point here and a power point. Behind that we obviously have our gear stick. When changing gear, it's foot on the brake, there's a little button on the front here, hopefully you'll be able to see that. You just squeeze that one in, when you put it back to reverse, you'll hear it beep, you'll get your screen come up. So the line across the bottom here is actually the bumper of the car. If you're reversing back and the red lines started to touch the object behind you, you would be about 15 inches away. If you got to the amber ones, you would be 3 feet, and the yellow ones would be sort of 6-8 feet behind you. I would reverse up to a wall or something and get out at each stage, or at least have someone standing watching you and telling you how far away, so you know exactly what's going on. Also, what you'll get on your screen here is you'll get a little picture of the car, showing you what the parking sensors are picking up. Now I'm in the middle of a car park at the moment, so it's not going to pick anything up, but that will illuminate as well. So squeeze the button again into neutral, squeeze the button again into drive, and then say go across to the left hand side. If you want to change gear up from first to second, just nudge that gear. If you want to come back, you just pull it back towards you. That's it. Just up in front here we have the shift lock release button. So if you've stopped the car without thinking and you're in drive, you won't be able to put the gear stick forward. So what you have to do is you have to push this button down. That will release a pin underneath, which will free up the gear stick for you to push into position. And then on the right hand side we have our electronic stability control. That's obviously a program to make sure that you stay on the straight and narrow on the road. It's monitoring how fast you're going, how hard you're turning, the angle of turn, all things like that. And if it needs to help you to stay on the road, it will do. It's a safety feature. I wouldn't really switch it off and leave that alone. And then behind that you've got your hill descent control. If you were going down very steep hill, very steep hill, and you wanted to go as slowly as possible, if it was a little bit snowy or wet and muddy, then basically you put the hill descent control on. You're not using the brake at that stage, you go into first gear and you just let the car ease itself very slowly down the hill. You're just literally driving the car. And then on the other side we've got our auto stop start. So once the car's up and running and it's warm, when you pull up to a set of traffic lights and you press the brake and you stop, the engine will cut out unless you press this button and disengage that particular section. Behind that we have our handbrake. So to set the handbrake, we put our foot on the brake and we lift up. To disengage, we put our foot on the foot brake and we push down. On the other side we have our auto hold button. So when the handbrake is off, we can press the auto hold. That comes up in that little bottom left hand corner again. So that's when we're in gear and we've come to a set of traffic lights, we put our foot on the brake, that little light will go green, and then when you go to accelerate, it will release again, and that will stay on for the whole time that you're on that journey. And then your winter sport button here By turning that little knob there, we get this mode. It changes the way that the gearbox works. So we've got normal mode, we've got sport mode, and we've got winter mode. And that will just change the way that the gearbox behaves for you. So it'll hold it in gear a bit longer, or soften the gearbox up. That's all done by moving that one there.